Hello and welcome to Go Ballistic, the Scottish Sun's Euro 2024 podcast. On this edition, we'll hear from Chief Football Writer Robert Grieve, who's on his way to Cologne for tomorrow's Group A game between Scotland and Switzerland. We'll also speak to our football editor, Derek McGregor, who is with the Swiss, and we'll be speaking to Murat Yakin and Manuel Akanji later. And we will also hear from our award-winning news reporter, Graham Mann, who's with the Tartan Army in Cologne, where there are thunderstorm warnings and it looks as if the fan zones will be closed. Here in Glasgow, with me, is Kenny MacDonald. Kenny, disappointment in Munich. Can we make up for it in Cologne tomorrow night?
Well, that's certainly what everybody hopes. I'm going to introduce an extract from the exciting world of moral philosophy to you.
That's what we need.
There is such a thing as collective manifestation in the world. And basically what it means is you want something to happen so badly that you convince yourself it will happen. And I think that kind of mass hysteria was what we were all taken by towards the end of last week in the build-up to the Germany game. We know how it turned out. However, Switzerland are not Germany. And that's why I remain optimistic. I've got another tartan tie on, and I'm really looking forward to the game in Cologne. Now, Switzerland, the problem with Switzerland is they know what finals are about. Since 2004 in the Euros, we've had 11 finals between the Euros and the World Cup. They've only failed to qualify once. They know their way around these competitions. They know what they have to do to get there. They don't have a fantastic record once they are there, but they're well versed in the etiquette of finals, and that's where the danger lies. They're an experienced team, and there'll be a problem.
You told us at the end of last week you were a confident Kenny. Has that confidence been bashed in any way by the events in Munich?
Not really, because I think the thing that surprised most people was how well Germany played. Now, Scotland were very poor, everyone accepts that, but I think Germany surprised a lot of people, possibly themselves, at how well they performed in the opening game in Munich. I've spoken to a couple of friends of mine, Tartan Army foot soldiers, who are trudging around Germany, as you say, in the rain. But they remain optimistic. They always felt they would possibly lose the opening game. Perhaps not by the margin in which we did, but would lose the opening game, and the two remaining games, Switzerland and Hungary, would be the key ones. And
you say Switzerland know how to get through a group. Will they feel they've done the majority of their work with that victory against Hungary? 4 points will take you through. Could it be a case that they maybe take the foot off the gas, make a couple of changes, and maybe that plays into Scotland's hands and we can get at least the point we might need?
I think the danger in that is that Switzerland's last game is against Germany, and they won't want to go into that needing to get something against what are clearly an ebullient German side. They'll want to get at least a point, preferably 3 against us.
There's been talk of changes, one enforced change, a 2-game ban for Ryan Porteous, of course, so it looks like Grant Hanley or Scott McKenna coming in. We've heard various talk of maybe James Forrest on the right-hand side instead of Tony Ralston. Could there be a shout for Lawrence Shankland? A lot of people want Billy Gilmour to start in that deep-lying midfield role. You a bit more sceptical about that, Kenny?
Not only am I sceptical about Billy Gilmour, I think the Scotland manager is sceptical about Billy Gilmour. We had 8 qualifying round games. He started 3 of them. He started 5 of them on the bench, which suggests that Steve Clarke isn't convinced. The two important games, Billy Gilmour sold to people on the strength of keeping the ball, which is well and good, and clearly he's very good at it. But the 2 games where you would have expected Scotland to require to keep the ball, Spain home and away, he played a total of 3 minutes. So that suggests the Scotland manager isn't convinced of what Billy Gilmour brings to the party. Now, Billy Gilmour's 23 years old, so he's got a lot of development to do, but he's played over 100 games in his career for clubs, and he's never scored a goal. So he's not coming out of the Scotland team, although ironically he has scored for Scotland against France in the friendly last year. But he's not scoring goals. He'll keep the ball. My drawback with Billy Gilmour is that although he keeps the ball, too much of his passing is side to side and he never goes forward with it. But it's a decision for Steve Clarke, and we'll see what happens.
Just 24 hours or so until the game. A prediction, Kenny, can we do it?
I was there in 1996 when Ali McCoy scored against Switzerland 1-0. I'd be delighted with the same result.
I think we all would. Well, we can now head to Germany to our chief football writer, Robert Grieve. Robert, you appear to be standing in a train platform. I assume you're somewhere between Garmisch and Cologne.
Yeah, we're currently in Munich, Roger. We've just left Garmisch this morning. A long journey, a 6-hour train journey to Cologne. So we got to Munich, we got a very quick turnaround here before we go on the next train and head up to Cologne.
Now, it looks nice weather where you are just now. There's talk of heavy rain in Cologne later today, possibly into tomorrow. Fan parks closed. Will this have any impact on the game?
No, I don't think so, Roger. It's just the way it's been in the last few weeks. There's been intermittent showers and storms that's been hitting Germany. It's unfortunate it's going to impact in some of the fan sites. A lot of Scotland fans obviously coming to Germany without tickets for the game, but they're going to be turning up in the cities. We expect a lot of fans to be in Cologne, maybe not as many as were in Munich. Obviously, many thousands going to Munich last week. But yeah, it's unfortunate for them, but I'm sure they'll find enough to do in Cologne. It's a great city. I've been a few times. And there's plenty of things to do indoors. A lot of good bars and restaurants.
You spoke to Steve Clarke at the weekend. You get to speak to him again this evening along with one of his squad. Is Munich now forgotten? Is it just tunnel vision on the Swiss and in Cologne tomorrow night?
Yeah, it has to be, Roger. The Germany game's past now. It's been done. They very deliberately drew a line under that yesterday, trying to look forward. And you're right, it has to be all focused on the Switzerland game. Can't even look ahead to the Hungary game. It's all or nothing now. Steve Clarke has to pick a team, get the tactics right to get at least a draw. It takes it into the last game. It's going to be a big ask. Switzerland had a great result in their first game, but I'm relatively positive about it. I think there will be a reaction from the players. I think they know they let themselves down and they're better than they showed against the Germans. And I fully expect a reaction, which should be good enough, hopefully, to get a 1-1 draw. A draw of some description, if not a win.
And does the way the games fall potentially help Scotland? Germany play Hungary 5 o'clock our time tomorrow. You would think Germany would be on form, getting another win. Suddenly a point against the Swiss then wouldn't look too bad, and it would give us a scenario of a win against Hungary on Sunday night taking us through. Yeah,
absolutely. I think we have to hope that the Germans can deal with that game earlier on. But I actually think it could give the Scotland players a real boost if the Hungarians lose a few goals. That could set it up, as you say, if we can get a draw at least against the Swiss. We could then, in theory, be playing the Hungarians at the weekend with them dead and buried. You know, it'd be game over for them. So I think that can make it easier. But we can't look ahead. We can't look too far ahead to that game. We have to just deal with the Switzerland game. If the Germany result goes, or Hungary do lose to Germany, then great. But we have to look after ourselves, Roger. The performance against the Germans, as we keep saying, was below the level we've come to expect from this team that we thought they would turn up. No one was expecting any miracles against the Germans, but the performance had to be a lot better. And if they can raise their game against the Swiss tomorrow night, hopefully we'll be sitting talking the next morning about a far better situation that Scotland will be in, get into that last game against the third game against Hungary.
Robert, that's brilliant. Thank you very much. I know Bill Leckie's away getting you coffee and apple strudel. I'll let you go and enjoy it and get your connecting flight. I'll speak to you from Cologne.
Thanks, Roger.
Well, we can now head back to Germany to our football editor, Derek McGregor. He has been with the Swiss all week at their camp in Stuttgart. He's heading for the match day -1 media conference in Cologne this afternoon with the head coach, Murat Yakin, with the Manchester City defender, Manuel Akanji. Derek, tell us a bit more about the Swiss and the sort of threat they'll present to Scotland tomorrow.
I think Switzerland have got an impressive squad, Richard. I'm getting frayed at the edges now, Roger. No, they've got an impressive squad. I think pedigree, experience. I mean, half their 26-man squad have got over 50 caps. You know, 5 are over 80 and 3 have got over 100. And they play for top outfits. When you look at the squad list and the names in it, there's real depth. And I think obviously the win over Hungary has given them a massive lift.
You would think if you win your first game at the Euros, Derek, it's just dead simple. You just have the same 11 for the second game. But I mean, there has been chat of the likes of one of those 100-cap stars, Xherdan Shaqiri, maybe coming into the team. I know you were impressed with Braylon Bolo when he came off the bench and scored the third goal against the Hungarians on Saturday. Do you sense Murat Yakin might just shuffle his pack a little bit tomorrow?
I think possibly. There is certainly talk of Shaqiri. Speaking to the Swiss media, they were uncertain because Murat Yakin, I think, surprised everyone in Saturday with his team selection. For what I can gather, the Swiss media did not see Kwadwo Dua starting ahead of Amdouni and Bolo, and so I think because of that, they're now wondering, will he produce another left field selection? But there has been beginning to be a consistent, chatter over Shaqiri coming in. 123 caps.
Mm-hmm. A lot of experience. And the man you're going to speak to this afternoon, Akanji, huge amount of experience, won just about everything there is to win with Manchester City, having had a successful career prior to that at Borussia Dortmund. Is he going to be an awkward opponent for, say, Che Adams tomorrow night?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I think with the greatest respect to Che Adams, I don't think Akanji is going to be too fearful. He'll be respectful, but when you consider the strikers that Akanji's become used to playing for Man City, I think he'll feel pretty confident. Terrific player. But when you look at the spine of the Switzerland team, Roger, you've got Jan Sommer, Inter Milan goalkeeper. You've got Akanji, Man City. You've got Fabian Schär at the back. You've got Granit Xhaka. And then, you've got several options up front that we've discussed. And I think this is a Switzerland team that has strength, that has ability, and it's got a great attitude.
Derek, that's brilliant. We shall let you go. I know you're heading up for Cologne today. The weather's supposed to be absolutely howling, so get wrapped up.
I'll take the Kagul.
Take care. Now we can now head over to Cologne to Scottish Sun's Graham. Graham, you have the job of following the Tartan Army in this adventure across Germany. You're at match day 2 today, and I believe there's thunderstorms predicted in the city.
That's right, we believe so, and I think some of the fan zones have actually been closed today, or there's a risk that they might be closed tomorrow. We're actually checking that out with the local authorities to see if they can give us a little bit more insight into that. But I think initially, at the moment, the feeling is that the fans will be kept away from the fan zones today, and that will mean that they're obviously all going to congregate in the old town. And the main area where they've been is near the cathedral, which is called Altar Market. And it was pretty busy yesterday, and I can only imagine it's going to be absolutely rammed today, because that's pretty much going to be, the most attractive option for fans. They're all going to want to go there.
The Toulouse Cathedral, it's the most visited tourist attraction in Germany. The city itself is used to dealing with large influxes of foreign tourists. Has it ever seen anything like this invasion of the Tartan Army, though, Graham?
I think probably not. Everywhere you go, there's guys in kilts. Scotland fans are in every bar, every restaurant, and there's Scottish voices. Even in the cathedral itself, some are taking time out from the bevy sessions to take in the amazing scenes. And the waterfront area down next to the Rhine River is absolutely beautiful. But yeah, it's absolutely hoaching with the Tartan Army. I'm sure they haven't seen anything like it.
UEFA announced yesterday a £5,000 fine for the SFA objects thrown at the game in Munich on Friday. But by and large, the behaviour's been good of the Scotland supporters in Germany.
Yeah, it's been absolutely magnificent. Everything has been in good humour. There've been one or two incidents, I think, where you see the police starting to sort of rally around certain situations. There was one just the other day in Munich where there was a ball being kicked around, and it was harmless, but you can see how, the local people might find it a bit of an inconvenience when they're having their currywurst and a bladder comes flying in from somewhere and knocks their dinner over. So the police sort of intervened on that, and they took the ball away, but it just resulted in a bit of hilarity and songs being sung. And as soon as the fans realised that the police were taking it reasonably seriously, it all just ebbed away, and everyone, either put their drinks down and moved on, or, and so there's been absolutely no stress whatsoever. And even yesterday, there was an England fan put a flag up inside the main area where the Tartan Army were, and he quickly had to take it down because every time he put it up, it got pulled down again. But again, it was just all in good humour, and there's not been a hint of trouble, certainly not that I've seen anyway.
Graham, it's been great to speak to you. Remember to take an umbrella when you leave the hotel this morning, and I will be in touch with the German police to see if we can get Bill Leckie's ball back.
Great
Thanks
stuff.
very much.
Okay, Roger, thank you.
Once again, thanks for watching and listening to Go Ballistic. We will be back again tomorrow when we're all counting down to Scotland's second game in Group A against the Swiss in Cologne. See you then.